And good evening, everybody. John Russell here with you this evening. We're very glad that you joined us for Goonie's first online comedy show. We got a great show lined up for you tonight. We have Randy Ankarlo, who will be broadcasting to you live from up in the forest. We have D'Angelo Funches. We have Michael Callahan. And we have Mr. Mark Poolos. We're going to have a great time. We're very, very happy that you guys decided to support us. One thing that we ask, and you can do, is if you're watching and you'd like to make a comment, please go ahead and do that, and we can pop it right up as you mention it. I mean, that's a sample, but you may say something like, "Holy cow, that was funny," or get that big fat jackass off the screen. Whatever you prefer. We don't like heckling, but we'll go with what we have. Other than that, we just want you guys to all have a great time. And if you do have a good time tonight, please tell everybody else. We'll probably do more of these. We appreciate the support that you guys have given us. And so there you go. As my job is to be the host and MC and warm you all up, let's talk about some things quickly, huh? Mandatory masks in Minnesota tomorrow. Those of you that are in Iowa, you can go ahead and enjoy the fresh air without masks, I guess. Oh my goodness. We're still getting people buying tickets, which is excellent. It's good news, but as I'm a one-man shop, I'll have to... Once Randy comes on, I'll have to give that person their ticket, and they'll be mad at me because the show's already started and I can't do everything all at once. Anyway, we have I assume folks with children, folks that are not empty nesters, maybe. I am an empty nester with grandchildren, and my grandchildren love to run around naked, which is embarrassing to me. Because when it's just me taking care of them, I'm afraid the neighbors are going to think ill of me. I don't even know what to do with them. I typically try to tie them up. That's just the way it works. Let me do one thing here. I'll do that. I'll take that back, and he'll know that I am 100% happy and concerned. Everybody out there have a good signal. Everybody out there seeing me well. Good. I'm glad that that's the case. Let's see. What else can I tell you? Interesting thing. I've got to have a medical procedure done at the hospital next week on Friday. Now, in COVID times, you would think it'll be perfectly safe. I think it probably will be, but they're going to make me take a test before. Now, here's the thing. I have to take the test on Tuesday and have the procedure done on Friday. I have a nephew that got the COVID, and he got over it before he got his test results back, which is weird. But I didn't think that they could give you the test results back that quick. And that's only 3 days. I don't know. I don't have any, what's the word I'm thinking of? Presidential qualities where I can, ramrod stuff through. And I mean, I guess I could just tell them I don't have it. And they would either believe me or not. I don't want to get political. It's just kind of the way it is. But anyway, we're very happy to have all of you with us again. And folks, I think, are you ready to start? Do you want to start? I'd like it if one of you would make a comment. Just make one comment to let me know that it works. And none of the comics, don't make comments, you guys. It's hard enough for me to read. But if one of our viewers would pop up a comment, and because we're going to have a question and answer period after this. Well, I don't know, period. I mean, that sounds like an old man way of talking. But we're going to have questions that you can ask of the comics after the show if you'd like. So keep that in mind. When people come up, if they have a question that's just burning, wait till the end, and then you can ask them, and I'll force them to answer in some way, I guess. But anyway, all right. I believe that's enough out of me. Ladies and gentlemen, your first comic we would like to introduce to you. Ladies and gentlemen, here he is, Randy Ankarlo. Hey, Randy. How you doing, buddy? Hello? Hello, Randy? Hello? Hello? Your mic is not connected, it says, Randy. Are you there? Randy? This is what you call tech nightmare. Randy, hello? Your mic is muted on your end. Can you unmute your mic, Randy? Can you unmute? You were doing great a minute ago. Everything. Oh, look, there's this chair. I see your chair. Unmute your mic. Are you there? This is probably my finest hour. You're still muted, Randy. I cannot unmute you because it is on your end. All right. So let's do this. I can't hear you. I can't hear you at all, Randy. Can't hear you at all. Neither can the folks that paid money to see. Oh my gosh, Randy. Okay, here's what we're gonna. Hello. Yell, Randy. I can't hear you. Yell.
How about now? Can you?
I can hear you now. I can hear you. Now we can hear
Anything?
you. Oh my God, this is going to be great. All right, ladies and gentlemen, here he is, Randy Ankarlo.
Oh, this is gonna be weird. Weirder than I thought. Just let me know if you can't hear me. I feel like I'm gonna be loud enough for once. But this is what it's like during a real show with me. So you get the real experience. But the last time I actually got to do a show in an actual comedy club, this lady brought a frog into the show on the 4th story of the Mall of America at the House of Comedy, and they told her that she can't have a frog in there. She set the frog on the ground, and she was like, "Oh, that's not my frog. That's fine." And they're like, "Oh, we watched you. That's definitely your frog." and she was like, "No, it's not." And she brought it to the outside of the comedy club, and she offered to kill it on the 4th floor of the Mall of America. And they're like, "You can just leave. You and your frog, ma'am, can just go." And that's my frog joke. That's not actually a joke. It's just really weird. And that was last week. I brought a date. She actually showed up. I was surprised. It was a Tinder date, and she showed up. And and she said we can't go on another date because I wasn't listening to anything she said. And I was like, "I'm sorry. This frog was way more interesting than anything you had to say at all." And so it's just been a really depressing week now. It's been hard. I've had a really hard time during this whole COVID thing. I've gained a lot of weight. I know everybody has, and we'll all talk about it, but I already decided that I'm not going to go on a diet or anything and try and lose weight. I just decided that I'm going to now identify 295-pound guys. It's been working out. It was just hard. I changed my name. Instead of going by Randy Ankarlo, I now go by Randy and Carlo. Oh, it's been a good time. This is good. I started to realize I was gaining weight because it was getting hard to tie shoes. I found out I was breathing and sweating heavy just trying to tie my own shoes. So I decided to go out and buy Velcro shoes, which has been awesome. I love it. But as soon as I bought them, my friend was like, dude, now you're never going to get laid. And I was like, that's what's stopping me from getting laid? Velcro shoes. So yeah, he was totally right. He was right. Because like now no girls talk to me ever since I bought those shoes. I even lost 2 guy friends. He was one of them.
Oh
It's
man.
been hard. It was an exciting day today. I was doing some online shopping today, discounts, or as I like to call it, scrolling on Tinder. It's my favorite joke I'm gonna do tonight. I'm a discount too, so you can't get offended at it. Makes no sense. But I was doing some shopping on Tinder, and I came across my ex-girlfriend's Tinder profile, and the only thing it says on her Tinder profile, it says must be at least 5'7". So she knows I'm only 5'4". I'm offended. I know what she was doing. She knows I don't meet the height requirements for the new Kayla. Just the old Kayla. It's been hard. So ever since I found that out, I decided I was going to switch my profile. My Tinder profile now says I'm 6 feet tall. But I don't think a 7-inch lie is that big of a deal. I've lied about 7 inches before. It's worked out. I don't know. I think the hardest part about lying on Tinder about your height is that you have to get this girl's Snapchat, and then you have to send her pictures of what you think tall guys do in their free time, and I have no idea what they do, so I just have to pretend. I know. So I just send her pictures of me like cleaning off the top of the fridge or reaching in the top cupboard. It goes great until she sees my ladder in the picture. Then it gets hard. Are you guys still there? Are we still connected?
Everybody's loving you, Randy. Seriously,
Everybody what?
everybody is loving you.
Oh, that's
so
great.
we've got one more tech issue, and that is I'm seeing all of their comments on the YouTube page on YouTube, but I am not able to pop them up over here for some reason now. So that's fantastic.
That's fine.
Yeah.
As long as they can hear me, that's all I wanted. I was worried this entire time. All I hear over here is crickets for real. We're outside in the campfire. And I just hear myself laughing every once in a while, and I feel really weird because I listen to that all day long. And my coworkers get really weirded out. That's another thing I wanted to talk about. I have a day job. This is not, I wish all I did was stand up, but I have a day job. I do restoration for a living. I fix flooded houses and moldy houses. This was never what I would do. When I was a kid, my dream job was to be an exorcist. I saw the movie one time, and I wanted to save people from demons. I thought that would be a badass job, fighting demons, but instead, I get to fight mold and my own demons. It's not the same. It's not what I wanted for my life, but I try to make it exciting. While my coworkers are vacuuming up mold, I read Bible verses in the background. and turn on fans to make it dramatic. After we get the job done, I like to go up and tell the customer, "It's all right. The nightmare's over. You can sleep in peace." Not what I wanted to do at all. My favorite part about my job, though, is I get to train in the new guys. Every time we hire somebody new, I'm the one that trains them in. And every time I train in somebody, I just pretend like we're filming a new episode of Undercover Boss. I tell them all my goals in life and that I'm trying real hard, but I'm in a lot of debt. My mom has cancer, but I owe $20,000 to the government. She always wanted to go to a Yankees game. I think it's going to work out someday. All right. I'm going to do one more joke, and then I'm done.
Perfect.
Then I get to watch. I'm already weird enough when there's people there watching, but this is a whole new level of weird for me. I don't even know what to do. I don't know if I should look at the camera or look into the water that's down there, or I don't know. It's been fun, though. I'm glad I've got to talk.
You're killing it, man.
Well, this is fun. So, my last joke, I have this pregnant friend. She was pregnant in Minneapolis. She was pregnant for 9 months, like the normal amount of time to be pregnant. But she had no idea she was pregnant the entire time. She just went to the doctor, and then like 2 days later, she had her kid. And she was like, "Randy, I didn't know I was pregnant. I just thought I was fat." I had no idea what to say to her. I was like, "Turns out you were both." What else do you say? My favorite part about her was she didn't care about becoming a mom at all. She was just excited she lost weight. She was like, "I lost 9 pounds last night. His name is Charlie." Here he is. I just don't know. I don't know how that happens. How you can be pregnant for 9 months and not even know. Like the first time I got kicked on the inside. I'm asking questions. I'm not going to be like, "I'm never eating KFC again." That bird was alive. Thank you, guys. I'm Randy Ankarlo.
Oh my gosh, Randy, that was awesome. And the other guys are applauding for you too. So you know, here's the thing, buddy. So if you are to like when you're done and you're waiting until the end of the show, go over to the YouTube channel and you can see everybody's comment. Mark Clampy is loving you. Heather is loving you.
Okay.
Bernard is enjoying this. So it's dividend, and I just can't, for some reason, I'm not able to pop the comments up because they're not coming up over here, but they're coming up over there. So just so you know, and folks, please keep making your comments over there. Okay. I don't know if I can fix it while we're going along here, but all of these guys would love to see your comments after the fact. I know, because you got to realize it's very, very difficult to do this when you have absolutely zero feedback. You don't know what the hell's going on, and you're just telling your jokes. The only thing that Randy has going for him, he's sitting in an Adirondack chair out in the woods, and I sure wish that was me. But Randy, you did a fantastic job. Thank you very much, my friend. And folks, if you got any comments,
Thank you.
If you want to know anything about what Randy's doing, where he's at, what he's eating, if he's fishing, if his job is hiring, save him after everybody's done. We'll have a little question and answer period. I'll figure out how to do that, but we'll do it. All right. Thanks, Randy. Take care, buddy. See you in a little bit. All right. So there we go. folks, so far so good. I hope you're enjoying it. If you're just now joining us, here's the nice thing: you can go back to the beginning, and you can watch it after we're all done. You can watch this on demand. I'm going to leave this up here, so you can watch it back. And if you came in late or anything like that, you can see everything that happened. All right, folks, your next comic is a young up-and-comer. He's been working actually quite a bit around Minnesota, and he's one of our favorites at Goonies. Ladies and gentlemen, how about a big hand for D'Angelo Funches? No, D'Angelo. Perfect. Hold on a minute here. Your mic is off. Yeah. This is. Nope. Sorry.
Nothing at all.
Oh, there you go. Now you're good.
How about now?
Now you're good.
Am I
You're
good?
good. You're good. Go start over and let's do it.
Make some noise for yourself, everybody. Everybody make some noise for yourself. Make some noise. Welcome, everybody. Thank you for coming out for the first online comedy show. I did 2 intros, didn't even realize nobody could hear me, but that's okay. Oh, man. Yeah, I've been in the house the last 4 months, man. I've been in the house the last 4 months. This shit is driving me crazy. I'm sure it's driving everybody else crazy. But unlike some people, I have kids. So everybody who got kids, make some noise if you got any kids at home. Make some noise. Right. So here's the thing, though, about having kids. Because, like, when you're in the house and you're forced to be around your kids, you slowly start to, like, learn a lot of shit about your kids that you didn't know, you know? And I love my son to death. My son is like an extension of my heart outside of my body. So I think I speak for all parents when I say, fuck these kids. Listen here. Let me tell you something. My son is a jerk, okay? I don't like my son anymore. So it's like, here's the thing about having a kid. Kids are very brutally honest. Kids will tell you exactly what's on their mind when it's on their mind. That's how I wound up with braces at 25 years old. I go to my son, we're messing around, I'm tickling him, we're laughing and stuff, right? He looks at me and he goes, I'm like, what do you mean? He goes, because you got Halloween teeth in your mouth. Your bedtime is 1 o'clock. I will whoop your ass. See, but the thing with kids, you got to be careful about the lessons that you teach them, right? Because some of the things that, you know, we just don't even think twice about become lifelong lessons for kids, right? So the other day I take my son to the park. He's having fun, and there's some badass kids on the other side of the park pushing and throwing rocks. My son comes up to me, he's like, Papa, those kids, they're throwing rocks. I'm like, don't come over here tattletelling on nobody, because snitches get stitches. A couple days later, we're driving down the street. Police are behind me. They pull me over. I look back at my son and say, hold on. You be quiet. I got to talk to the nice officer. I turn my head, and all I hear on the other side is a loud rattle. I look over. This boy has now thrown his Nerf gun and his candy into the front seat. I don't have any time to react to this whatsoever. So I roll down the window. The cop looks at me, looks at the Nerf gun on the front seat and goes, do you care to explain that? So naturally, I look back at my son. He looks at me and he goes, snitches get stitches. Oh, man. Oh, I like to tell people a little bit about myself. One of the things a lot of people don't know about me is that I'm actually from a small town. I grew up in Spring Valley. It's just about 30 minutes south of Rochester here where I live. And let me tell you something interesting about Spring Valley. Spring Valley is the home of Laura Ingalls Wilder. A lot of people don't know that. And second fun fact, me and my brothers were the only black people for miles. There were no black people around at all. It was just us. If you flip through my high school yearbook, we looked like 3 chocolate chips on a sugar cookie. It was bad. So the thing about that, though, is that playing sports was like a huge thing in every small town, right? It's like a staple in a small town. Cool part about being the only black kid is that naturally everybody assumes you're great at sports. Nobody double check this at all. So on Friday nights when we'd have our football games, they would come get me and my brothers because we were the secret weapons. We were the ones that when they would lose, when they'd be down by too many points, they would come get us. So this worked perfectly all year until we played a school who also had a black guy. Crazy thing is they come get me. I'm playing my part. I'm like, where they at? Where they at? And I see him. And then I see he's black. And I was like, oh, snap. I didn't prepare for this part of the test. So he's looking at me and I'm looking at him and he's looking at me and I'm looking at him. And then it occurs to me, I'm like, oh, shit, we got to have a black off. It's my school, so I got home field advantage. I got to go first. I'm like, I had chicken and watermelon for lunch today. All the white kids gassed. They backed up. He was not to be outdone. He didn't even bat an eye. He looks at me and goes, so what? My mama got 3 light bills in my name right now. All the white kids, double gas. So now I got to do something quick. I can't let him get one up on me. I got to do something quick. I was like, look over there. There's my dad. Everybody looks. There's nobody over there. I was like, exactly. So I won that shit. The great thing about living in a small town that I have to say is that, you know, being that I come from a larger city, you get accustomed to like new things. They take you out, you get to get all these new experiences. And for me, one of the coolest new experiences was hunting. I'd never been hunted before. I'm talking about when they're like, hey, do you want to go hunting? I'm like, sure. Mind you, the only thing I know about guns is you run up on somebody, you turn that bitch sideways and let it rock and roll. That's all I know. So they didn't give me a gun. Let's just start there. I didn't have a gun. So one of the craziest things, though, is that we get out there. I got my camo on. I got my face paint. I'm ready to kill shit. Really, I'm ready to watch other people kill shit because that's what I do. So we get to the blind, and about 2 hours passes by, and we're not seeing anything. And my friend turns to me. He goes, hey, did you do everything I told you? I said, yeah, I got all the supplies. I got on my camo. He goes, hey, did you remember to spray that spray on yourself? Now, for those of you who don't hunt, what that is, there's a spray. It's called a mask. You spray it on you. It hides your scent so deer can't see you or smell you. I'm sorry. I told you I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. So I was like, yeah, it stank. What's in that shit anyway? He was like, oh, it's buck pee. I was like, buck pee. But before I could stop him, he sprayed it and it got in my mouth. It was like being in an R. Kelly video. Worst experience of my whole life. So after about 30 minutes, a deer finally comes up. We see it. He shoots it. I'm hyped. I'm losing my shit because I'm ready. I'm like, yeah, we got something. We got something. He's like, calm down. We got to track it, right? And so I get excited when I'm doing new things. So I'm rapping to myself. I'm like, if we see a buck, we gon' fuck it up. If we see a doe, then she got to go. And then he got excited and he was like, if it's brown, then it's down. I'm like, hold up, motherfucker. What are we hunting for? I've never been hunting ever since. Something about being in the woods with a white dude that excited just didn't sit well with me. You know what? I know we've been watching the news a lot. I know everybody's been tuned into the TV and it's nonstop. And I hate to get political with you guys, but I feel like I have to because it's so prevalent nowadays. I didn't get circumcised till I was like 21. I know a lot of y'all are judging me right now out there in TV land, but let me tell you something. First of all, I'm jealous because our brothers across the pond over in Europe running around with a turtleneck, living the time of their life. And I'm over here getting judged over a little bit of skin. You ever had a fruit roll up, baby girl? You ever had a fruit roll up? See, but this is the thing though. when you're uncircumcised, here's the thing. You can't just show up. You gotta baby step. You gotta walk them into that. You know, you gotta introduce them to a new lifestyle, right? And so here's the thing. I met this girl, real great girl. She was fun. We were talking, having a great time at the bar. I get her back to the house. Things getting hot and heavy. We're touching, we're kissing. I know I'm about to get it. And right when I was about to turn the lights off, she's like, no, don't do that. I want to see that dick. I was like, you want to see that dick? She's like, yeah, I want to see that dick. Again, people, I did not study for this portion of the test. So I'm like, here's the thing. Instantly turned into a shitty car salesman. That's what I did. I'm like, okay. you want to see this? She was like, yeah. I was like, oh, you want to see this? I was like, when's the last time you eat a banana? She was like, what? I was like, yeah. You want to see this? So finally, I work up the courage to pull it out. I'm like, forget it. I'm going to just go for it. I pull it out. Boom. Put it on the table. She was like, ew. What the fuck is that? I said, this is Christmas dick. You got to unwrap this gift, baby girl. There's a fine line between fetish and felony, everybody. Any nosy people in the house? Any nosy people? We live in Southeast Minnesota. There's definitely some nosy people around here. I learned my lesson about being nosy, though. One of the things I learned about being nosy is just mind your business. I've taken that lesson with me, and here's why. So when I was about 12 years old, me and my brother, we flew down to Mississippi because I got an aunt and an uncle, their brother and sister, and they lived together. Now they're planning on moving to a better house, so we were supposed to go down there and help them pack. So me and my brother outside, we don't really want to help. It's hot as hell in Mississippi. There's racism in the air. We just want to be left alone. So finally, my aunt comes out. She goes, "You boys get upstairs. You move some boxes. Y'all not doing nothing." So we go upstairs. We find one of the bedrooms. We go in there. But instead of moving the boxes, we instantly just start rummaging through shit. That's what we did. Now, I'm 12. My brother's 13. We find what's a sex toy, but at the time, we didn't know this. My brother finds it and goes, "Hey, look at this. I think this is called a dildo." I was like, "Yeah, what does it do?" He was like, "I don't know. I think it helps you grow a beard." And so he throw it to me. I catch it, and I just start trying to grow a beard. But my beard didn't come, so I'm like, maybe I'm doing this wrong. Then I found a button. I was like, duh, stupid. You got to turn it on. Do you see anything? Do you see anything? So I'm mid-beard growth at this point. And all of a sudden, my aunt comes right around the corner. I don't have any time to do anything. I have no time to say anything. I freeze. She goes, "Boy, what are you doing with that?" I said, I tried to flip it. I was like, "What you doing with this dildo?" She was like, "Boy, get out of your uncle shit." I have never felt good about my top lip since. Hey, my name is D'Angelo Funches, man. Thank you guys for watching and tuning in. Stick around for the rest of the show. You guys have a good night. Make some noise, man.
D'Angelo, very nice job, buddy. So let me ask you, how many people you got in your audience there?
We got about 9 people over here. We got
wow.
9 in studio, and we got several people at home. But yeah.
Awesome. Well, I hope you charge them because
yeah.
Oh, perfect. Well, you did a great job.
Grass, everybody pays the toll.
There you go. You did a great job. Thank you so much, folks. If you're watching, you got questions for D'Angelo after the show. He'll be with us too to answer some questions. Anything you want to know. Just maybe even about what the hell is in that blue drink. That could be. All righty, buddy. Thank you so much. Folks, your next comedian performer is I've known him for almost as long as I've done comedy. And I don't get to see him nearly as much as I'd like to. He is a fantastic performer. He's a fantastic comedian and mentalist. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Mr. Michael Callahan.
Hey.
How you doing?
Hello. Thank you. Good. Thanks for that great intro, man. Good to I guess I got the whole screen to myself, so thank you. It's God, man, my hat is off to both Randy and D'Angelo. That is tough work. I think that the outside Adirondack angle wins the night so far. I'm actually look around. I'm in my wife's video conferencing office. I took it over for the evening. The same way I take over everything in her world. I'm like a human hermit crab, man. You give me the right space, I'll just crawl into it and claim it as my own. For those of you who don't know me, which is pretty much everyone, my wife and I, we met in high school, and when we started dating, like I had just been accepted into engineering school, and she had just been accepted into driver's ed. To give you an idea how young we were, we were pretty spry. And I was promising because I was going to be an engineer, and then I ended up being a magician. By the way, I'm not here as a comic tonight, so if you laugh, that's an accident. So the thing was as a she thought she was marrying an engineer, and then I ended up being a magician, and people are like, "Oh, so did you use magic to get your girl, to get your wife?" I'm like, "No, you hide that shit. Like, you lock them down, and then you fess up to the fact that your lifelong goal has to be a professional magician. So that's how you actually want to do it." She ended up being a doctor, so technically, I'm a trophy, which is fine. That's good. Worked out for me. And I'm going to do some trophy husband magic for you this evening. Now, I will say, since we spoke last, I'm about I don't know if you know, but okay, so I have the 2 kids too. I don't know. I guess I didn't catch how many kids D'Angelo had, but I do know he's got the son for sure. I got a couple of little girls. He's got the boy. Okay.
Yep.
So it doesn't sound like Christmas Dick has probably had his vasectomy yet, but boy, I sure have. And I'm coming up on my 1-year anniversary. And I got to say, one of the nice things about being 45 and a year out from your anniversary is that when you sit on your balls on accident, which will happen, it's like, ow. And then you're like, oh, that's okay. Like, it really doesn't matter. You're welcome, D'Angelo. He wrote, thanks. So, D'Angelo, when you're ready and your old man sack is dangling below that old uncircumcised penis of yours, like, just, it's okay when you sit on them. I will say the other fun thing that I learned. So when I had my vasectomy, they gave me. So what you have to do is you have to tape your penis to your torso and then leave your scrotum dangling. This is all appropriate because I'm in my wife's medical office, so I'm not doing jokes. I'm just giving you the perspective of a patient as to what the vasectomy experience is like. And so when they give you tape to tape your penis to your torso, and in my instance, they gave me the perfect amount of tape on the roll that if they had given me a full roll, obviously I'm not supposed to use that entire roll. Okay. If they'd given me like, oh man, there's almost none left. Like, clearly it's like going to be two pieces of tape, get it up there. That's fine. I've understood that. They gave me the perfect amount of tape that to me implied that I should use the entire roll, and yet ended up being a tremendous amount of tape. And so I essentially mummified my penis to my torso, and the doctor's like, he and the nurse came in and they kind of exchanged a glance that to me said that they have not seen this before. And it's pretty great. And so they're like, it's really not going to hurt. It's going to be uncomfortable was the word he said. He said, it won't hurt, but it's going to be uncomfortable. And I was like, if by uncomfortable, you mean uncomfortable as in like that look that you just gave between your nurse when you saw that I used roughly, I don't know, 500 square inches of tape to tape my dick to my stomach, which was not shaved before I did this. So now I've got at least an hour of extraction of carefully peeling your fucking athletic tape off my godforsakingly hairy belly. Then yeah, no, I don't know if that's uncomfortable or if that's painful, but it's definitely something, it's definitely a thing. It's not something we're going to just blow by in 30 minutes when this is over. So it did hurt. It hurt a lot. And the vasectomy hurt a lot. And I didn't they tell you to sit on peas, which I did. They don't tell you though that you don't have to worry about sitting on your balls because they are up inside you at that point. In fact, I kind of had to coax my balls. I felt like I was trying to coax my balls back down out of my pelvic cavity. It was very much like I felt like a first responder. I felt like the good cop first responder after like the kids who have seen too much are like up in the attic, sheltering up in the attic, and there's all kinds of trauma on the main floor. And I'm the friendly first responder who's like, come on down, kids. The bad man's gone. come on down. The bad man with the needle's gone, kids. Just come on down. So eventually they did come down, and things were getting back to normal. And I will say, he did tell me that the crazy thing about the vasectomy is that there's get my hand. There's the testicle, and then there's the tube that leads out, and then it goes out of you. Get that in frame. So this is out of me. This is the testicle, and this is a path, continuous path. And what he said he's going to do is he's going to nip here, but then he's going to leave this just loose, and then he's going to cauterize here to the path. So testicle just loose, just. And he's like, it's okay. It's just gonna be in there, It's just gonna be. I'm like, what do you mean? It's just gonna be in there? Like, to me, this is like the worst possible. It's like the oil spill at Standing Rock, like Standing Cock. Like, it's like the oil spill at Standing Cock. Just spilling into me. It's just spilling into my prairie. Just collecting in the basin, And that is what happens. So like now, when I see, like, you see, like, maybe you see a scab, I see a mass grave. Before all of this, I assumed that I don't even know my blood type. I just know now I'm type O face. If you remember that joke from Office Space, I'm like, oh. And it's true. It does absorb into you. It just absorbs in. I've learned that. It just absorbs in. And I learned that on the internet, that actually after a man has a vasectomy of this style, where the U just spills into the U, you do absorb it into your system, and you actually develop antibodies. You develop semen antibodies in your blood. So now when I go to give blood, they're like, hey, are you here to give blood? And I'm like, at a minimum. It's going to be come in your blood. I have no idea how that went over. I wasn't planning on talking about that, but it seemed right because of the medical setting.
Mm-hmm.
I did spend a lot of time on the internet recently. I did bring some tricks. You gotta. When was my start time? I don't want to go long.
You've been talking for, I don't know, 5 minutes. I'm not keeping track. We're loose, baby.
I don't know what Poolos says. He said he'd jump off, so I don't want to. So here's the deal. I found this on the internet, and I did find this. I found this on the internet, and then I texted a few of my buddies who helped me with Second Story Comedy, my cute little comedy show in St. Peter, and we started a text chain. And I want to share with you some of the jokes from that text chain. But first, you have to see. This was from Twitter a little bit back. It's got the pictures. The panda's there. It's BBC. It's a credible news source. German zoo director admits some animals may have to be fed to others as it struggles to survive lockdown.
Oh my God.
Right? Like, that's the best thing ever. So, I mean, if you're the kind of person who thinks that's the best thing ever, and I guess I am. So there's this. There's may have to feed each other to survive lockdown. So here's some of the things. Here's some of the things that we wrote to one another. My friend Ben wrote, so instead of the displays being organized by continent, now they're going to be reorganized by white meat and dark meat. My friend Kurt responded with Serengeti and meatballs. Back to my friend Ben. I went to the zoo and all I got was this wolf shirt. That was actually made of wolf. My contribution, at the skeet show, at the bird show, they're actually going to invite skeet shooters. Yes, clearly the one I wrote. My friend back to Kurt at the gorilla display, kids eating free. The thing is, I just love this so much. Okay, so the zoo gives Don Jr. one unsupervised hour in the Africa exhibits.
Oh God.
I'm gonna lock that down with some fine Trump whiskey. My friend Kurt wrote something bear claws. I wrote crab raccoon. And then finally it finished with my friend Ben writing marsup eels.
Oh my gosh.
So made it through that. I've promised I'm gonna start. So when I do magic, I usually start with the cups and balls, which is usually a magician says they start with the cups and balls because it's the oldest trick in all of magic. No, hieroglyphs, Egypt, who gives a crap? For me, it's because when the love of your life and your wife finds out that you really do want to be a magician, and they don't run from that and they lean into it, and that year for Christmas you're given a set of cups and balls. By God, you learn that shit. So this is the set of cups and balls that I received from my lovely wife, and I'm gonna rock it down, and mostly it's just gonna be mostly like hands and less me. So here we go. Yeah. So when you get a set of cups and balls, you get 6 things, John. You get 3 cups, but you also get 3 balls. I know they're rolled up there. I'm going to put them here on the top of the cups. So you get the 3 balls and the 3 cups, and they all start empty. Start empty, and keep this in frame. This is like very, very tiny little working space here. Try to move that way. Space them out. Okay, so when you get a set of cups and balls, you get the 3 things. And the reason that I think this has been around for so long is it's very easy to follow. You take a ball, and I put it down here below the table. I'm going to take a ball. I'm going to put the ball down below in the table. I'm going to take a ball, and I'm going to put it down below in the table. But already you'll see underneath each cup, a ball has reappeared. That is fucking amazing. The question is, this is the one I taped to my tummy right here. This is the one that got taped to my tummy. So I'm going to scoop 1 ball underneath each cup. And then when I'm ready, the outside balls will vanish and join underneath the center cup.
Wow.
Now, to make this a little bit easier to track, I'm actually going to remove the 2 side balls, okay? Remove 2 side balls, leaving just the 1 ball. Now, the 1 ball, boop, as soon as it hits the top cup, get that little back up a little bit. As soon as it hits the top cup, it passes through, okay?
Oh, wow.
Did you see that? Thanks. Do it again here. Get that there. Doop. Passes through. One more time. Passes through. Now, the thing is I can take the 1 ball, and I'm going to put that 1 ball over here, left of the table. Underneath the first cup, there is 1 red ball. 1 red ball, left of the table. Underneath the second cup, there is 2 red balls. 2 red balls underneath the table. Underneath the third cup, there is just 1 ball. Oops, just 1 ball. Totally disappointing. I get that. Except for the fact that for the history of this trick, it's never been about the small red balls. This trick has always been about the giant swollen balls of blue.
Oh my God.
And I got that third one in there, which the doctor did find both unique. But guess what? The copay is the copay. If you got to deal with the third testy, you got to deal with the third testy, doc. That's how it goes.
That was beautiful.
Well, thanks. Here's a fun one I've been working on. Oh, I kind of want to do one I'm not very good at. Most of the people who are watching don't know that when I do magic, usually, I really fuck it up somewhere along the lines. I feel like I do. So I feel like I should give the audience an opportunity for me to just like, because that is very tantalizing. It's fun. So I'm gonna do one. I'm gonna do one that hits at about like usually I hit this one. I'm at like 90% with it now, and then I'm gonna move into one that's like 50% of it. So it probably won't work. Gotcha. And then we'll close with something strong. Okay. So this symbol. So occasionally, if you have a vasectomy, you can. Sometimes people have kids after they've had a vasectomy, which, I mean, not necessarily kids, but at least they end up with a pregnancy. And thank God, at least now we live in a country where a woman's right to choose is clinging on to dear life. despite the fact that, I love Beer Kavanaugh sort of like lied to Susan Collins and is like, but anyway, we're not getting political. So the thing is, because a baby's life is paramount. So let's pretend, for the sake of the argument, that this string is the tube that leads from my testicle to my penis. A very thin, long string. And I'm gonna vasectomize this. Now I would cauterize that, but I'm not gonna cauterize it tonight. I don't want to light, so I'm gonna do it again. I'm gonna keep, unlike the doctor, he only had to do it, for me, he only had to do it once, but this string is exceptionally long, so I'm just gonna keep snapping and breaking the semen tube, and then now I'm gonna take them. I'm so glad at least I can hear you off camera, because so I'm gonna crinkle up. Nothing in this hand either. Be very clear here. This is very miraculous when it works. Miracle of birth, actually. So I'm gonna crinkle all that up, and then now, usually in the show, I would put this in your hand, and I would show that my hands are empty, but you're not there. I'm here because of the vid. And by the way, if we'd had a little bit of instruction from the top of the country, and he might have just said, everybody wears a mask, fucking deal with it. We can tie a fucking yellow ribbon around a tree. We can turn our headlights on when shit goes wrong around the country. But if we all just wear a mask, guess what? You and I'd be doing this in person, and you'd be touching my fucking vasectomy string in your hand. So that's not how it's going to go down, because we got a fucking cameraman, woman, person, ding dong running the fucking show. So anyway, I'm going to take this little, vasectomy packet here, and I'm going to bring this up, keep it in frame, and now, much like the creator of the universe, our God and Savior, Lord Jesus Christ, I'm going to massage the internal portion of my anatomy with a heavenly hand. Oh, I'm out of frame. Sorry. Now I really ruined the illusion, because you guys are going to think I switched it, but I didn't switch it. All right. Boy, that's so sad that there's going to be a chance some of you guys are going to think that I switched this. It might not work anyway, because as I said, I'm not actually God. It's always whenever you're doing delicate surgery anywhere on anything that has to do with the genitals, when you're not sure it's going to work, it's important to flick that area. So I'm going to flick it. I'm going to keep flicking it. And with a little bit of luck, man, I don't know. I think I screwed it up. I didn't switch it. You'll know I didn't switch it, because if this thing knots, come on. Oh, it's going to work. Look at that. Look at that. And that's how you end up having a baby when you don't want one. Because it all just because the right of the individual can sometimes be overpowered by the heavenly miraculous right of so anyway, that's that one. That one worked. Let's do one that probably won't work at all. I'm glad you're taping this, John, because I'm saying a lot of things that are just kind of popping out. I didn't realize that my whole act, potentially like my magic act, could be turned into one giant metaphor for my vasectomy. So I'm glad that earlier we spoke. I was kind of wishing that we didn't really keep this on tape. Yeah. I'm not saying this is a finished product, but I'm saying this might be a starting point. So thanks for hitting record, I guess. So I'm going to show you, well, first things, I'm going to establish myself that I can do quality coin magic, okay? I'm going to establish the fact that I can do quality coin magic. Now, traditionally with coin magic, what you'll see is you'll see a magician, and he'll take the coin and he'll put it in his hand, and he'll be like, oh, it's gone, right? It's very that kind of magic. This is similar to that, but it's more patterny. So I'm going to take one coin. I'm going to take the two coins. I'm going to take the third coin, and I'm going to put it down here below the table. Now, already, you've seen my hand has been in frame the entire time. When I'm ready, 1, 2, 3. They came right back. So I'll do it again. I'm going to repeat this. I'm going to put the two in my hand. Okay. They go here, and I'm going to take the third one, and it's going to go down below the table here. And again, same game. The two in my hand. Watch. Jiggle them down. 1, 2, 3. So I'm just trying to establish a baseline of credibility, because if there's one thing that you need as a public persona, if you want if you want to move forward into something you're not quite, steady on, you want to establish your baseline credibility, like your crowd size right after an election, things like that. So I'm going to take the 2 coins, I'm going to toss them there. I'm going to take this one, put it over here again one more time, and then now look, the old switcheroo, it's all vanished. So,
wow,
money shot. Okay, back down here. Now I'm going to try to do the. I'm going to add a 4th coin. Okay, I'm going to add. So here's the 3. I'm going to add a 4th coin, and I'm going to try to. I'm very nervous about this. Okay, this is. People at home are actually throwing up at this point, trying to keep all this in frame. Okay, so it's backwards. Everything is opposites. So I'm going to use the deck of cards. How are we doing on time?
You're fine. Keep going. You got to finish it.
I know, but I almost want to do another thing and then finish on that. Okay, I'll just do it.
Yeah, you can do that. I mean, you're fine.
All right, I'll do this and then I'll do that.
Do this.
I'll do this.
Do
I'll do that, and then I'm fucking out of here. Okay.
There you go.
All right. So, yeah. All right. So here's the thing. So I'm going to take 4 cards. Now I do want to remind people. You're going to notice that my movements aren't quite as smooth. It's a little bit. I think Poolos would maybe use the word janky at times. I'm going to try to see if I can do this. So I've got 1 card over every coin. Get everything in frame. Okay. Mm-hmm. All right, 1 card over every coin. Here's what's going to happen. Nothing in my hands. Nothing in the hands.
Mm-hmm.
Make a little bit of love. Okay, that first coin's already traveled, okay? But there's nothing under this coin, all right? So I'm going to do it again. Like this coin, that'll travel too, okay? But there's nothing under this coin as well. Finally, 1 coin, 1 card. They all.
Oh, wow.
Travel. So that went better than I thought it was. Actually, that was a huge success for me. So I want all of you to know you just went on the journey was emotional and it was mostly internal because I keep a pretty straight face, but I want to know on inside I'm on fire right now. I'm both pleased with how it went. I'm both terrified, but I'm also coming down from the fact I did that and it worked. And so thank you for being on that journey with me. All right, one more thing, and then I'm going to be done. I'm going to turn it over to Mark. I just want to thank you, John, again, for putting this together. I want to thank people for actually tuning in and, buying tickets 10 minutes late. You're my favorite people. As somebody who runs a comedy club. So here's the deal. John, I need you to jump on screen with me.
All right, hold on here. We'll do it.
Big
Boom,
finish.
There we are.
Okay, John, big finish. All different, all mixed. I'm not going to belabor the point, okay? Here's what I'm going to do. Name a number between 10 and 25.
How about 17?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. And now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to deal these into 3 piles. You chose, John. Now, this is pile 1, this is pile 2, this is pile 3. Which one do you want me to get rid of? 1, 2.
Get rid of number 2.
Get rid of number 2. So now just for the record, number 2, top card of that was the Ace of Spades, and we're getting rid of that. Now, this is still pile 1. This is pile 2. Again, all different, all mixed. Pile 1, pile 2. Which one do you want me to get rid of?
Oh, I need to get rid of 1 this time.
Gonna get rid of 1 this time. Okay. And just in case you were wondering, Ace of Clubs. So here's the deal. I brought in some jokers here, John.
Yes.
4 jokers. And now your top card is the 2 of Hearts, and all the other cards are completely different. Okay.
Okay.
Oh, there was the ace. So that's interesting. Was there an ace? Yeah, there was an ace. But it was not. It was on the. Okay. So anyway, what I'm going to do, John, you've randomly selected the. Push that way. Okay. I'm going to take a joker. Here's what we're going to do. I'm going to take the 2. Do you see what just happened? Right? Can you see that?
That's amazing.
Yeah, okay. Thanks. Okay, so then they still have backs. That's what's so crazy about this, all right? So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a joker, your free choice, And this one, we're going to put it between the two twos. Now we have two twos, but we have the Joker. But when we're ready, also becomes a 2.
What in the hell?
Yeah, still. And of course, they all have backs. That's important to know. This one, I'm going to squeeze it through like that. Oh, okay. Let me try again. Squeeze it through. There we go. That time it went. Isn't that cool? I know. So fun.
Oh my God.
Okay. So this time, John, what we're going to do, last one, very simple. Take it here, right there. But then do you remember the pack, John? Can you see the pack that they're all different and they're all mixed?
Yeah.
Yeah. That they came from. Here's the fun thing. So we're going to take the pack. I'm going to give it a cut. And then I'm going to give it one more cut. I'm going to try to cut to a 2. Okay, I missed the 2, but actually it was right here.
Holy crap.
Not only that, John, look, they're all different. They're all mixed.
Yeah.
But we're not done yet, right? Boom, right there is another 2 of hearts. And in fact, if I cut, you're going to see that everything, John, the entire thing is a 2.
That's amazing.
It's all 2s.
Amazing. Holy cow. Just unbelievable.
Aren't you glad we didn't finish on the coins?
I am, because the cards was way better.
Yeah, it really is way better. Hey, I wanna say it's so crazy that I'm on the first online comedy show and I'm doing card tricks because I was on the first ever Goonies open mic. First ever Goonies open mic, and that night I closed. I also closed with a card trick that night.
Oh wow!
So there's my Goonies history cred.
Well, we appreciate you being along with us, and it's just fantastic. And I look forward to having you do more tricks online, because you are probably the most amazing magician I know. I don't know if you. So I know I told Mark Clampy about this, and I don't know. You'll probably maybe get mad at me. People, if you go back and watch our interview, you're very good friends with Teller from Penn and Teller.
Right. That's something. Yes, I'm very respectful about it. But about 10 years ago, I reached out to him and he reached back, and we have amazingly cultivated a friendship that I am, like I said, I'm convinced that part of the reason that I get to be a friend the way I'm a friend with him is because I do respect his privacy and my privacy. But yeah.
But the reason that I bring it up is because I want to have people that are watching know, if you want to see a very, very amazing trick, it's the one that you had me do, opening a fresh deck of cards that I went to the store and bought. And he did this trick. He didn't touch the cards. He directed me to do this trick. It blew my mind. And the reason I bring up Teller is because he was so impressed when you told him that he wanted to see it. So he's actually seen that trick from that video. And he
wanted to see it, and then he wanted me to write it up for him because I don't know if they're going to use it, but they might. It'd be cool.
It's so fantastic, and I'm just so happy I know you, buddy.
You're John. We don't have to turn this into that, but I will. I'll turn into that right now. I love you too. Thank you for having me.
Let's do it after we get Mark up here.
Okay.
All righty, ladies and gentlemen, there he is, Michael Callahan. Thank you so much, sir. And now, folks, I hope you're enjoying the show. I can see your comments. Everybody absolutely loved it. And that's, gosh, guys, I'm having a great time. I hope you all are too. And so now, folks, our final comedian of the evening is probably my best friend in comedy. He and I have performed in Seneca Falls, New York. I had to drive, he flew. We have performed in Arizona, Laughlin, Nevada. Had to fly on different flights, although I did get to fly that time. But, ladies and gentlemen, he's had millions of views on his Dry Bar comedy clips and special. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Mark Poolos.
Hello? Am I on? Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. Yes.
That's good.
Crank
I'm
it
glad
up.
I dressed up for this. Thanks for having me on after the vasectomy ball magician. I got to tell you, I've had some rough spots on shows in my career, but this one takes the cake. Where I have to follow an entire themed magic show based on a vasectomy. Boy, it's been quite a ride tonight, hasn't it, everybody? We started out with what could only be described as Randy Ankarlo's kidnap tape on the top of the show. And then, oh God, how does John Russell rope me into these things? Do you remember our trip to Laughlin where I got food poisoning and had to throw up behind a Geo Metro? Those are good times.
I do.
Those are good times.
It was the days I'll always remember.
Well, thank you so much for having me on the first Goonies online comedy show. Unfortunately, tomorrow we were supposed to do this live, but you know, the COVID stuff is still out of control. Everybody's got to wear a mask everywhere tomorrow, and the Karens of the world unite. I just like to say publicly that I wear a mask everywhere because I want to protect everybody. But I actually had a really good laugh when the governor mandated it, because I swear he mandated it, and 4 seconds later, a lady posted on the Nextdoor app. And it said masks, exclamation point. And in the body of the message, it said, I don't know if you've heard, but starting on the 25th, everyone has to wear a mask. So do it. And her name was Kathy. And she was pretty ticked off about people not wear masks. I don't know. It seems like the simplest thing in the world. Like I have like a snowboarder scarf thing that I keep around my neck, and I pull it up when I go in the store, and I take it down when I get out. I don't know why it's a big deal, but apparently this is what some people have drawn a line in the sand on this COVID thing. So I've been stuck inside quite a bit. Before COVID, I was a pretty svelte gentleman. I was doing the keto. I'd lost about 60 pounds. And then they told us not to leave our house anymore. And I don't know if you guys know, but keto food is like, you can't get it delivered. I guess you probably could, but then they told us to support our local restaurants. So I think me and my wife are, I don't know, burning like $100 a day on DoorDash. There's like one guy who just keeps coming, and he just knocks on the window and goes, reload, and then he just drives away. There's been a lot of bad food and bad decisions, but we're still alive. We're still doing it. A lot of different people had to kind of readjust. You know, some people got to work from home. Unfortunately, comedies, you know, I guess right now we're doing it from home, but one virtual show a month is not going to pay the car bill. So you got to kind of find something else. And thankfully, my wife, as smart as she is, about 2 years ago told me to get my real estate license. So I did that and kind of sat on it for a year and didn't do anything with it. And then this happened, and I don't know what is going on, but it seems like more people are buying houses since the pandemic began. I don't know where the mentality there is. Like it's the end of the world, and I want to die in my own house. Like, I don't even understand it, but it's just been insane. And I just laugh because there's so many parallels between stand-up comedy and real estate. Like, with stand-up comedy before COVID, like anybody could do it. You could just decide you're a comedian and show up to an open mic and tell horrible stories about your father and your childhood, and hey, you're a comedian. It's a little bit more difficult to become a real estate agent, but not that much more difficult. You have to read a bunch of stuff and then take 2 tests, pay $100, and boom, you can buy and sell houses. And yeah, there's, just like comedy, there's good realtors and there's bad realtors, and there's a learning curve, and it's been interesting. I had a I'll tell you this, probably the funniest story in real estate I've had so far. I had an investor client who took a class out of Florida on how to flip houses, and incidentally, that company is now under indictment by the FBI for false business practices. But the whole idea of it was that they sold him this software where he would plug in numbers from a house and the repairs, and then he would find out if it was going to be enough profit on the other end to do the rehab. So the guy that taught the class flew up to the cities, and we went out as a group and looked at a bunch of houses. And the guy that flew up from Florida, he was pushing about 4 bills, had probably the worst toupee I've ever seen in my entire life. And the worst part about it had some kind of medical condition that had him fart every 4 seconds. And the worst part about the whole thing was that my client didn't notice at all. And since I had a Honda, like a 4-door Honda, and the guy from Florida didn't have a car, well, my client had a big Dodge Ram truck that had 4 doors on it, and he had me sit in the back so they could sit in the front. Well, yeah, so every 4 seconds this guy's farting on me while we're driving up to St. Cloud, and my client is like completely oblivious to it. And we're looking at houses, and this guy, like, he's barely mobile. Like, we're having to help him in and out of houses. So he would just hang out in the kitchen while we would search the house. And we went into this one house, and we went in the basement to look at the foundation and the mechanicals. And he goes, "Oh, guys, you got to get up here. You're never going to believe it." So we ran upstairs, and he goes, "Go in that bathroom. You're not going to believe it." And it turned out before we had gotten up there that he had farted in there a bunch. So we go in there, and my client goes, "What is there, a sewer backup?" And he goes, "No, they didn't even hook the sink up." So apparently, like, the sink didn't have any plumbing in it. But I'm like, if you were going to direct us into a room, why would you fart a bunch in there before we got in there? Just an absolute nightmare. But it's been interesting. It's been fun. I mean, it's been a lot of just COVID's been just a lot of being home with the kids, which has been nice. Willow, I have Willow and Frankie, 2 daughters, and Willow loves these things called Hatchimals. I don't know if anybody else is familiar with the Hatchimals, but she mostly just likes to kind of break the eggs and then take the Hatchimals out and look at them and then throw them about the room. And you know, there's an argument like the worst thing to step on in the middle of the night is a Lego. I don't know if you've ever stepped on a mythical unicorn horn at like 3 a.m, but yeah, Legos got nothing on that. But yeah, it's interesting watching the news. I think my favorite COVID story, and I wish I could remember where it was out. It was either like Holland, someplace out there, maybe Amsterdam or something. And they had said that you shouldn't get in groups of more than like 5 people when it first started. And the mayor had to like make an announcement that you should like cut down on the people in your orgy. That's what she said. She's like, don't have too many people at the orgy or something like that. And I was just like, man, that's got to be really, like, what is the announcement during COVID in an orgy? You know, it's like, we're just going to be grabbing and stabbing tonight. Okay. no top holes, just bottom holes, and everybody face away from each other. Like, what? It just seems ridiculous. But yeah, at this point, you just have to figure out anything to make money. In a few days, I'm sure Armageddon is coming because unemployment's running out and the forbearance or whatever on mortgages is running out. So yeah, for those of you that think it couldn't get any worse, August should be a good time. Should be a nice ride. But I did a little Lyft driving in the interim. That's always been an interesting thing. People always ask if I got any crazy stories from I only have like literally one crazy story. I had been driving for like 2 months, and it was about 9 a.m, and I picked up a kid at the University of Minnesota, and I dropped him at his parents' house. And first of all, he sat in the front seat, which is just weird enough. I'm just like, you know what? It's phone a ride, not phone a friend. Okay. Can you get in the back seat? I don't want to accidentally grab your leg while I'm driving you home. Okay. But I drop him off, and then I back out of the driveway, and I glance over, and I realize this kid left cocaine in my car. And I was just like, it's 9 a.m. Okay. And the rest of that day just flew by. No, I actually was very freaked out by the fact that I had illegal drugs in my car because I don't do drugs. I've never done hardly any drugs. So my first thought was to just throw it out the window. But then I was like, well, what if a bird eats it and starts attacking people? And then I got to see that on Care 11 when I get home. It's just like coked up bird attacking kids in the park. I don't need that. So then I was like, well, maybe I just drove it to the police station. That's what I did. I was like, here, I don't know what to do with this. And he was like, put it in your coffee because it's sugar. So I don't even know what cocaine looks. I think the only drug story of my entire life is actually when I worked Laughlin a different time with Coca-Zello. This lady after the show, like out there, weed is legal, and it's in a bunch of stuff. It's in chocolate and lollipops and drinks and stuff. And she gave us little pieces of chocolate. And she said, eat this, but be in a safe place when you do it. And we went to his hotel room. We ate the chocolate. And here's a tip. If you've never done weed before, don't just go right to eating it. Because I guess when you smoke it, it kind of comes on gradually. When you eat it, it's like nothing, and then it's everything. It's like 1 minute you're watching a show on the television, and the next minute you're trying to climb in the TV cabinet because you think it's a spaceship. It's just very fast. I was trying to tie the curtains together to escape the hotel room. And then it turned bad real fast. I got super paranoid. I ran out of his room, and I was running all over the hotel. I couldn't remember my hotel room, so I was freaking out. And then I ended up just passing out in the fountain in the lobby. And I woke up in the fountain in the lobby, and I looked at the front desk people, and I was like, you didn't call like security or anything? And they were like, oh no, it happens all the time. So I was like, well, that's not too bad. But yeah, last couple of years have been weird. Michael was talking about his vasectomy, so I might as well just talk about my ball stuff. Last year I had a ball scare. I found a lump and had to go to my doctor, and the doctor checked it out, and the lump was positioned perfectly between my front hole and my back hole. So he said, I don't know who to send you to. He goes, I might have to flip a coin on this one. And I'm like, is that what we're doing in medicine now? We're flipping coins. And he's like, so he sends me to the proctologist. And I don't know if anybody has ever been to the proctologist before, but if you pass age 40 and you go to the proctologist, the way that he says hello is he just checks your prostate. There's just no like small talk or whatsoever. He just jams his finger up your butt, and it's very jarring. Let me set the scene for you. So I check in, they put me in the little room, and in the proctology wing, they have like this table that you kneel on, And then he's got this like foot flipper that shoots the back end straight in the air so he can get just a real good look in your tailpipe. And so I knelt down there. I thought maybe there'd be a handshake or a hello or something. But the table faces away from the doors. So I'm just kind of laying there like, what's happening? And I hear the door open and a bunch of people talking. I'm like, why is there so many people coming in? Am I in the wrong room? Like, is this where the work mixer is about to take place? And then I just hear a click and the table just starts going up and I'm like, hello? And I just hear the snap of the glove and he's rooting around in there and they put me back down and he sits next to me and he goes, what can I do for you? And I'm like, hello? Who are you? Are you even the doctor? Like, I don't even know. So I go, I got this lump or whatever. And he goes back there and he goes, oh, what this? And he just like pinches it really hard and just turned out to be a giant pimple. So that was a lot of hands-on for a pimp. And it got rough. It got rough. I'm not going to lie. But another thing too about lockdown and COVID, I've realized is, there's two types of couples in lockdown. There are the couples that have grown together, and learn more about each other, and there's the couples that have immediately divorced. So, thankfully, me and my lovely wife Anita have grown together and gotten stronger and. Our kids are even nuttier. Frankie, who's the youngest, her favorite thing to do is to storm in on me while I'm sitting on the toilet and just point at me from across the room and go, ew, this is disgusting. And I'm like, can I get some privacy here? Like, I don't need to be poop shamed all day. Will you get out of here? But, yeah, I guess the only rough part is the fact that my lady has stinky farts, and it's rough, and it's just like everybody's got, rough farts, but hers are brutal. There was one night where they were so bad, I had to put Vicks Vapor up my nostrils just so I could fall asleep. I mean, it felt like somebody died in there, and like, here's the thing. It would be fine if it just smelled bad, whatever. The problem with hers is they hang around forever. They're like entities that just live in each of the rooms. You almost have to do an exorcism to get them out of there. They're just brutal. She ghost farts me all the time, man. I just, like, she'll go out in the kitchen and she'll drop one, then she'll just move on with her life. And I'll walk in there like, an hour later and I'll be like, did the dog crap in here? And she's like, no, I farted in there 4 hours ago. And I'm like, this thing is still haunting me. Oh man, but God bless her. She can't sleep without the fan on, so it's just swirling everywhere like a giant fartnado in there. But God bless her. I love her so much. I think the other fun part about lockdown is the fact that my mom has become very involved with Facebook, and she still, I don't think, understands how it works. Her cover picture on her Facebook page is a screenshot of her locked phone. That's what it is. Last week, she somehow live streamed ordering a fish sandwich at McDonald's. It's just been a lot of fun. But I think my favorite part was her first day on Facebook. She couldn't figure out how to comment on status updates. So her status updates were just the comments for everyone else's status updates. And people caught on. I thought she was having a stroke because none of it made any sense. It was just like, 2 puppies? ? Hi, Kathy. Downtown. Oh, God. She's the best, though. She's figuring it out. She's FaceTiming with the kids. Most of the time, we're just looking at the wall, but she'll get there. She'll get there. Yeah, my dad, he's long past, but God, what I was, just talking with some friends about him the other day. Gosh, he pulled some scams, man. He was just, so here, I'll tell you a couple of these real quick because they're pretty funny. So he he bought a bed set from Sears one time, and the guy assured him that the bed set would last for 10 years, and the box spring broke at 9 years and 8 months. And he went back to Sears, and he was like, "You lied to me," and he got a new bed set.
Oh, wow.
And the truth is, that bed set is still in the downstairs guest room. Still got it. I think my favorite one, so he worked for Wells Fargo Bank, and some kind of, he reached some milestone. So he gave him this little TV. It had a TV and a radio, and we'd use it in the car on road trips because it had a cigarette lighter attachment. And it broke, so he, like Sears, I think it was either Sears or JCPenney's, would like fix anything, no matter if you bought it there or not, like for a certain cost. And he brought it there to get it fixed, and they lost it. They couldn't find it. And so he had, so this is like how big the TV was. It was probably like that big. He forced them to purchase him a brand new, like 32-inch, like color television. And yeah, so we had it in the house. And it was like 8 months later, somebody from Sears called him and was like, "Hey, we found this television that belonged to you." And he said, "Wrong number," and hung up the phone. But I think his greatest scam, because like he would do this thing called the switcheroo, where he would, if something broke in the house, he would just buy a replica, and then he would switch it for the new one and put the old one in the box and return it. And you could get away with that stuff like in the 80s and 90s because nothing was computerized. They weren't checking anything. I had a friend who every day would like go to Target and like take an expensive like electronic thing off the shelf, walk up to the front of the store and return it and get money for it and leave. And they never checked it. So he bought this shower head for my mom, and he tried to return the old shower head in the new box, and it didn't even like kind of match. It was like completely different. The one he took down was like rusted and mildewed and like 12 years old, and he brought it up to the counter, and the kid goes, "This is obviously an old rusted mildewed shower head." And my dad was like, "Imagine my surprise when I got it home." And he gave him the money. You know, I don't think he opened the register. I think he just gave it to him out of his wallet. He was like, "I'm not dealing with this today."
Oh, man.
Well, I'll tell you this, and then I gotta go. Am I at 25 minutes?
Yeah, you're good. You're good, dude.
Okay, good. I'll tell you this, and then I'll go, because I'm sure people are tired of me. No. Yeah, I quit drinking in my late 20s, early 30s, but my early 20s, you know, it was a lot of crazy nights, a lot of DUI checkpoints. Those things are the weirdest. I think the funniest DUI checkpoint story I ever had, I was with a buddy of mine. We were like half in the bag heading back to his house, and we come around the corner and there's a DUI checkpoint. He sees it, and most people, they just get in line and try to beat it. He pulled a U-turn and drove away from it, and I go, "I don't think this is going to be good." And he's like, "We're fine." And then, of course, seconds later, we were pulled over. And the cop's in my window talking to my friend, and he's like, "I don't know if you realize, but that was a DUI checkpoint." My buddy's like so indignant. He's like, "I know what it is. I'm just not going to do it." And the cop kind of laughed. He was like, "Well, you have to do it." And my buddy goes, "Oh, I have to?" And at that moment, he kicked open the door and started running. I was like, "What?" It was so out of nowhere. And the cop was so mad. He was like, "Did you know this was going to happen?" I'm like, "Dude, I'm still here. Okay? I'm pretty pissed off myself." Get out of the car. They tow the car away. I find my friend the next day, and I'm like, "Dude, what the hell?" He goes, "What?" I go, "They towed your car away. They know who you are. They're going to be here in 5 minutes." He's like, "Just relax, okay? That wasn't my car." I was like, "What?" He goes, I'm like, we're driving around in a stolen car? He's like, No, I bought it fair and square. I just never switched the title." So they're headed to Bob Jackson's house right about now. I was like, "Man, that is horrible." And he's like, "Well, you got to do what you got to do. And if we're done here, I got to go buy another drinking car." Like, this guy, he's just flipping cars every weekend. Anyways, that's it for me. Thanks so much, guys.
Ladies and gentlemen, There he is, Mark Poolos. Let's
It's already
bring everybody.
past my bedtime.
Yeah, I understand. Let's bring everybody back up. Randy, can you hear us?
Is Randy still alive?
Randy's there. Randy's back in the. It's probably dark there now. There's D'Angelo. There's
Is he wearing a different shirt?
I'm a yes, man. Well, he had to change in the green room, and there's Randy. I can
Stay humble.
I can see a little bit of color there in Randy's thing. I'm afraid a bear ate him.
God.
So,
What happened to
guys,
Randy?
oh my gosh, I just want to tell you, thank you so much, and we'll give folks. There's about a 6-second delay between what we're doing live and what streams over there on the page. So we'll give people a little bit of time to see if they have any questions for you. But I just, well, yeah, I mean, it's a Q&A.
Well, we'll see.
They might have a question. They might have a question about vasectomies or
Please
paint
God,
pimples,
no.
or there could be anything. Could be anything. But we'll see.
Can you hear me?
How are the balls, Michael?
Yeah, I just wanted to jump in and pay you a compliment, Mark. I've known you for about my entire stand-up comedy life, and one thing that just is always the most humbling. The reason I back with all this magic stuff is every time we ever went up anywhere, like in Minnesota, whatever, I will go up and just get destroyed, and they will hate me, and then you will absolutely kill them. I'm like, man, this is a bad crowd. This is a bedroom. No laugh. This is not my fault. Nothing to do with me, artist. You've always been that guy, dude,
thanks,
where
man.
you're super smart, nonchalant, super approachable, you being you thing. And like I said, 12 years I've been watching you, and you're only getting better. I love you.
You too, buddy. I love
All right.
you too,
No,
man.
true.
That
It's
was
not
awesome.
true. What's true is you're the one with the dry bar special, and I'm the one doing coin tricks.
That's true. Did we just cut Randy?
Yeah, Randy, the bear got Randy again. So I was going to say we did have a question. We did have a question from Andy Fisher, who was wanting to know if Randy actually put the phone in his pocket. I don't know. Here comes Randy again. Maybe let's see if he shows up and can answer.
Let's see if he can. Wait,
Randy, are you there? I can see a little blue light on his. He must be facing the bug zapper. Randy, hello.
Is Randy camping?
Randy, get on the
Like, is that-
Comet? Did Randy climb on that comet?
He might. Oh, maybe that's what he should. Oh, look, see, there's some sky and some trees.
And the lit end of Randy's blunt.
Randy should invest in a flashlight. That's
Mark Clampy, the owner of Goonie, says Randy's just using a flip phone.
He's guys. Let's give him a break. He's shooting the sequel to Blair Witch Project. Okay, he's big time now.
no, Randy's homeless.
Yell, Randy, because we can't hear you. Yell.
I'm sorry, Randy is the best part of this entire comedy show.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Randy's segment was amazing.
Don't be surprised if Randy stops to collect coins from a car.
Oh my gosh.
I hope the next Goonies comedy show is just him doing this for an hour and a half.
And there he's gone again.
Act 1 is just getting tech right.
Oh my God. Well, you guys, I will say this. For all of you that did watch this, we hope you had fun. And it would do me, you'd be doing me a huge service if you would send me an email. Well, yeah, you can do that too. But send me an email and tell me about your experience going through this. What was it like for you to buy a ticket? What was it like to get the links, all that kind of stuff? How did you like the show? Because we can use your feedback, and we do want to make this better because from the sound of it, Goonies will not be opening probably even in August. So we'll do at least one, maybe two more of these. And the reason we do it is because it's a way for us to give the guys, I mean, granted, we didn't sell 1 million tickets. They didn't make as much as they would on their regular weekend, but it's a way to give them something and let them know that Goonies appreciates them. So if you can kind of let me know what you thought of the whole setup, I would appreciate that greatly. And then also, if you can think of anything that we could do to improve it, it's possible I could do some of it, but we're kind of limited. No,
Don't hire Randy.
Yeah, never. Randy cannot. No more outside comedians.
Not at scale.
No.
Get him some Wi-Fi. That's what we can do better.
Yeah,
So
hire Randy with.
I just want to say this. God love
it would
Randy
be great
because
if he just walked in behind me like he was in my backyard.
Oh God, that would be funny. That would be hilarious.
Oh boy.
Here's the funny part about it is that Randy and I literally went through everything, and he was having problems in getting in here yesterday. So we went through the entire bit. But here's the thing. We got it all working perfect. And he was as clear as any one of you. And then he says to me towards the end, well, tomorrow I'm going to be up at a cabin. Dude, that's like saying, yeah, well, I'm gonna drive around town in this Corvette, but when I take you out, it's going to be in a freaking Toyota Camry. Anyway, folks, I just got to say, let me look here and see. Thank you very much, all of you that are watching and that have watched and have made comments. We appreciate it more than you know. And we look forward to doing this again. Keep your eye on the Goonies page. Mark, do you have anything coming up that people might want to know about? Okay, no.
I don't think so. Unless you want to sell or buy a house, please, God, call me.
See, and look them up because people might want to. Michael, how about you? Do you got anything going on? I literally, buddy, if you wanted to, you could do a 15 to 20 minute magic show weekly and sell tickets, and people would watch it and buy it. I mean, you literally could.
One, I don't believe you. Two, follow me on Instagram because all I do is post pictures of flowers in my fucking yard.
Oh, nice.
That's where my career is at.
Is that code for your balls?
Got me.
Apparently, that's where Randy is too.
6 feet
Actually,
under.
though, in all seriousness, I'm probably going to launch a podcast.
Dude, that'd be awesome.
That's a good idea.
Yeah, that would be fantastic.
And it's a magic podcast that has nothing to do with magic.
I like it.
Your first episode will have 1 million hits. The second one, 5 people.
D'Angelo, how about you? I know, D'Angelo, I know this is this the first virtual show you've done?
Yeah, this is the very first one.
So, and I thought you did very, very well.
D'Angelo was great.
Yeah.
And
I think he's the only one that was professional, had a crowd and a mic and everything.
Yeah.
I didn't know what we were doing, so I was just like, all right, let's do it. Let's do it. So I just
Partridge Family, cheers.
I'm 25. I don't know who the fuck that is.
I love it. All right, everybody.
Jackson 5, cheers. There you go.
That'd be just Joe slapping everybody. That was really funny, and you did just let it lay there, you bastards. All right. It was.
Hey, I also want to credit. Speaking of you trying to get me work, when I had no work at all, Mark Poolos hired me to do a birthday party, and I still have those pictures. And they're some of the most cherished video. I was surrounded by no less than 25 shining, beautiful little 9-year-old faces in his basement.
Kids were blown away.
Only because they couldn't read.
Dude, you crushed that kid's birthday party. What are you talking about? They still talk about that.
Yeah, you're a good human, Mark. I love you.
Yeah,
Anita says the kids love it. One more question. It's from Charlie, and he wants to know, Michael, have you ever been on Foolus, or have you ever thought about it?
my question is Charlie actually trying to piss me the fuck off?
I don't know. It's just the question.
I'll tell you why, because I've been close twice. And I have a thing in the show that I preface by saying, this is the trick that almost got me on TV, fucking Charlie. So no, Charlie, thank you for fucking bringing that up.
And with that, we'd like to wrap up the show tonight. Thank you,
Yeah,
Charlie.
it took kind of a sour turn.
And the sad thing is, that's the anger I'm trying to take out of the show.
Well,
hey,
you can
quick
do
question from another viewer. Hey, Michael, are you rich and famous?
You guys are fucking jerks.
Oh. You guys, I've had an absolute blast with you. Folks that are watching, thank you so much for the support of not only these comics, but also Goonies Comedy Club. We hope that you take care of yourself. We hope to see you in person soon. But keep watching Goonies page on
Johnny
Facebook.
Russell.
Oh,
yeah,
thanks.
Give some love to Johnny Russell. That's right. Give it up right there. Partridge Family. Boop, boop, up.
Everybody.
Set this whole thing up. He's the man.
Yep. So,
Right,
all
man.
Thanks for
right.
having me, John.
We appreciate it very much, everybody. Take care. We'll see you again soon.
Good night,
Bye-bye.
Mark Clamping and Desmond
Good night.
Clamping.